Trading is just one giant game, and the truth is, most people are playing it completely wrong. They think that simply mastering their entry models is going to guarantee their profitability, yet they completely miss out on the real reason as to why the markets actually move, and that's structure. And that's why they're constantly getting stopped out and end up frustrated. And I know this myself because I've been in exactly that same position until I discovered that I only needed to stick to the rules of the game. The ones that are actually simple, but almost nobody talks about. And it really just comes down to these three main rules to uncover the blueprint of the market. And once you know them in depth and see how they all work together, you'll never ever look at a chart the same way. So let's get straight into this. Now, the very first concept that you need to master is market structure, because without it, nothing else really matters. Whether it's your supply and demand, whether it's liquidity, or even your entry models as well. You literally do not have a solid foundation if you understand nothing that we're about to get into as well. Now, there's only three ways that the market actually moves. You've got up, down, and sideways, and that is literally it. Now, starting off with the first one over here, we can clearly see that in an uptrend, you're going to have continuous higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and higher lows. Now, many people actually confuse this at times because, say, for example, price did something like this, where price started to print a few high highs and high lows, and then eventually had this internal structure moving upwards. Some people sometimes make the mistake of pointing this out as a next level of structure. Remember, the most important and key information over here is you need to have continuous breaks of structure of the primary highs. It can't be anything to do with the internal highs over here. And that is where many people actually start to go wrong. Now, when we're looking at the flip side of this, we've obviously got our downtrend. Well, this is obviously going to continue on with our lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and lower highs. Now, if we actually breach a certain level, does that mean we're starting to completely change the trend? Well, at times, yes, and at times, no. And we're going to get into that in a bit more detail. But just understanding the basics, this is all you really need to know. Look for them continuous breaks or structures to confirm that you are still moving within that intended direction. And then the last type of market range is going to be exactly this, a consolidation period. Now, consolidations are the most confusing pieces of price action because you essentially have no idea where the market is moving. Now, entering within these conditions will essentially mean you're taking a bigger risk. Now, the only way around it is if you really start to look at the minute sort of moves in between. But we're going to get into that a bit more in more of advanced videos. But for now, understand that there are only three market conditions: higher time frame uptrends, downtrends, and consolidation periods. So with just the first concept, you've already started to gain a bit more clarity. You essentially buy in uptrends and you sell in downtrends, and you sit out of any ranges because obviously you don't want to get stung in them points. Now, here's the mistake that most traders are still making, and I see this so many times. They confuse corrections with reversals. And that's essentially where impulses and corrections actually start to come into your game plan. Now, every trend is going to be filtered into two main moves. You've got the impulse, which actually breaks the structure towards the upside. And then you've got the correction, which actually gives you a bit of that pullback and a bit more of that breathing room. So remember, the impulse is always going to break structure towards the upside and create a new higher high in an uptrend. In a downtrend, it will create a new lower low. Now, a correction is simply just a pullback. It doesn't break any previous structure. It simply pauses the trend before you actually start to move for the next impulse. So think about it like breathing. The impulse is essentially the exhalation of the trend. That correction is there to give the trend a bit more breathing room to eventually start to move upwards. So essentially, your goal as a trader is to try to pick out these correction points. And eventually from that point, when you start to look at your lower time frame entries, that's when you're confident that price is going to continue on the way upwards. Now, many people have the issue where you're not really understanding, is this correction leading into a reversal? Now, the issue with that is if you start to spot a reversal when it's only a connection or only a correction, that's when you can really start to mess up your trend. So let's get into this live example. As you can see, Euro USD in the past few weeks has been moving towards the upside. Every single time it's broken structure, it's created a new high. Therefore, this has been considered as the impulse. One thing I want you to know is exactly this. When it comes to the correction, you can never know, is it, for example, going to move all the way towards, for example, the most discounted areas? Or potentially, is it going to move just with a shallow pullback, something like this? This is something that you can never really tell. A few things that could really help with that is potentially timing, news events that might be coming up, fundamentals, how strong they are, but realistically, you will never really know. Now, one thing I do want to say from this point on is this. Once you have the correction, and again, you pick out your points of interest, you look at your supply and demand zones and all that kind of stuff. Once you have a solid breaker structure past the previous high, that is essentially when that pullback is going to be done. So no longer are you expecting for price to break any lower than this area over here. If you start to break lower than this area over here, that's when you're finally going to have a reversal instead of a correction. Now, let's add on a bit more precision into our trading plan, because simply knowing that you want to buy a pullback or sell a rally is one thing, but where exactly do you actually want to do it? Now, this is where the whole idea of supply and demand zones actually come in. Now, of the two types, we've got a first one over here, which is a demand zone. Essentially, a demand zone is where the big players or the big buyers have previously stepped in. Now, typically, the way it's going to look is usually a consolidation period before a massive move upwards. And one thing you would note over here is exactly this. Typically, if it's a strong supply or demand zone, it is going to break a level of structure. If you see that level breaking, you've got that breaker structure upwards and it's starting to move upwards, definitely expect some sort of reaction from here. It doesn't mean it's going to hold every single time, but almost always you're going to get some type of ping off straight from this level. Now, the second type is naturally going to be our supply zones. Supply zones are essentially the last consolidation period before a strong move down. And it basically tells you where all the big sellers have actually come in. Now, one way that I want you to think of supply and demand zones is exactly this. Think about a market condition, like in a real life market. If you wanted to come in and you saw something on sale, that's obviously where most people are actually going to buy. Think of a supply zone as a premium zone. When the market rallies up into a supply zone, it's like price just got a lot more expensive. So essentially, that's where most traders are going to want to sell. Now, here's the key. The market actually has a memory. So if the traders have seen these levels, these consolidation periods, both in premium and in discounted supply and demand areas, then likely we're going to see some sort of reaction from there. And that's exactly why price usually returns quite aggressively, especially when you've got some sort of breaker structure. Now, the one thing you must know is zones is just not enough. It's just one piece of the puzzle that can help us solve the entire equation. And what we actually need to do is look at the next thing, which is going to be imbalances. As we all know, markets are not always going to be the most efficient. Sometimes price moves way too fast in one direction and literally leaves behind what we like to call an imbalance. Essentially, what it is a gap in price where very few transactions have taken place. Or potentially, it may be where only one-sided transactions have taken place. Now, typically in the market, you're going to have a balance. Now, with this balance, you've got both buys and you've got both sells. Where these imbalances come in is where you've only got buys or you've only got sells. And typically what this actually looks like is something like this in the markets. Now, imbalances are going to be defined as what? Essentially these massive body candles. Now, the unique thing is, and this is what I really want you to focus on, is above or below these imbalances, you will typically see a level of supply or demand. Now, these levels of supply and demand are going to be very efficient piece of price action. So think about it for 1 second. You've got efficient price action just above. You've got inefficient price action just below. You know that price loves to come back to these areas to fill these imbalances. And just above it, you've got a beautiful supply zone resting. Now, this example right here literally is the epitome of what we're talking about. As you can see over here, what have we actually got in price action? We've got this low over here that has finally been broken. From that point onwards, we are obviously expecting a pullback. Now, this pullback could be, for example, at this sort of shallower pullback, or potentially it may be at this more premium pullback. From that point onwards, we can expect, okay, cool, we've got that consolidation period. We've got the imbalance straight afterwards. We've even seen a level of manipulation of liquidity happen. From that point onwards, you can only expect that this is going to be one of your highest quality points of interest in the market. So remember, you always look at structure. Where's price been broken? As exactly we've seen over here. You then start to look at your supply and demand zones. Okay, cool. We've marked out supply zone 1, supply zone 2. But then we start to look at the imbalances. Now, yes, this one had an imbalance, but that's where we start to move on into the next step. And that's all going to be about reactions. Now, quickly before we get into everything, if you are looking to get funded with one of the most trusted prop firms in the entire industry, then Funded Next is going to be the choice for you. They have literally stayed on top of this game for the longest while with over 5-star 30,000 reviews on Trustpilot. One of the key things that they actually do is they give you incentives that no other prop firm actually gives you. For example, if you don't get paid out within 24 hours of requesting it, they pay you an extra $1,000 on top. 15% profit share from the actual challenge phase. So you're still making money from the very, very beginning. And the challenge is very reasonable as well. 8% in phase 1, 5% in phase 2, beating some of the other competitors in the entire industry. And by the way, you can literally get funded from as little as $59. And also, if you do use the code Diamant at checkout, you'll get 120% reward added for your first payout. So one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give for anything to do with structure is look at the reaction. The reason I say that is because when it comes to the live markets, it basically looks a little something like this. You may, for example, have broken price towards the upside. And as we've had that break of structure over here, we have multiple points of interest. We've got one over here, and let's say even, for example, one at this point over here. So how exactly are you going to differentiate which one is the best? Let's say, for example, they've all got clean consolidation periods. They've all got clean imbalances straight afterwards as well. What's going to be the difference of which one am I going to choose? Now, there's two ways that you can really go about it. The first way is you set limits at every single level. Now, this is a bit impractical because when you set these limits, you obviously know that you can't put full risk on every single trade. Now, at times, for example, let's say it reaches all the way at the bottom, you've incurred half a loss here, and now you're finally in that final trade. But because you've already incurred 2 losses at that point, you basically have to get at least a 1 to 2 just to be able to make your money back. Now, the thing that you can do instead is instead of all of that, you could actually go for option number 2. And that's going to be waiting for the lower time frame reactions. Now, when you're waiting for these reactions, what exactly are you going to be looking for? And this all comes down to your specific entry model. And let me teach you one right here. When you start to look at these particular areas, and let's actually start to zoom in a little bit. When you're looking for these reactions, many people simply look for something like this, where they see a simple change of character towards the upside, a little pullback, and an entry. The problem with that is you can get so many fake outs at this point. So how do we actually optimize this? Well, it's going to be very simple. What you're going to be looking for, and listen up, and I'm even going to enlarge this. What you're going to be looking for at this point is going to be a strong low liquidity sweep. Let me repeat that again. A strong low liquidity sweep, obviously in an uptrend. So how does this actually look like? Well, essentially, it's going to be something like this. As you wait for price to pull back, let's obviously delete this one over here. What you're really going to be looking for, and obviously it helps for you to be in more of a discounted area, you're going to wait for price to pull back all the way down to the bottom. You're obviously creating these new levels over here. As soon as you see that first break upwards or that change of character, that is not going to be when you're waiting for the pullback. Instead, what you're anticipating is that price actually breaks even this low over here, sweeps it, starts to break up, pull back, and then continues. Why is this actually a big difference? And what difference does it actually make to your trading? Think about it for 1 second. Let's say, for example, price does all of this. Price pulls back at this level. We've got a beautiful reaction. So we've disregarded this point. We've disregarded this point. Finally, that's where we start to have a change of character. This level over here should now be respected. It should. Why? Because this low caused a change of character. So this is going to be considered a strong low. Now, when a strong low is broken or it's swept, more importantly, that liquidity is being swept, that is a very, very important piece of information. But how do we build on that? We look for that liquidity sweep of the strong low. We then start to look for a continuation above that structure. Then we start to look for a pullback and then a move all the way towards the upside. So when you really start to look at price with something like this, we've now built everything up until this point. We've got the multiple sort of bits of analysis that leads into our higher time frame points of interest. We start to then look at the reactions, but most importantly, these are the types of things you actually want to look at. Now, remember when we start to talk about supply and demand zones and everything like that, the same thing applies on the lower time frame as well. That's exactly what you're going to be looking at, let's say on the 5 minute, on the 15, or maybe even on the 1 minute. That's when you start to overlay everything on the lower time frames as well. And only at that point, we are now confident enough to actually set something like this. Now, again, the added benefit to all of this is your risk to reward is massively going to improve. I would even go as far as to say your win rate would probably say around the same, maybe just a bit less because you're working on lower time frames. But again, with these few confirmations that you've got over here, that's exactly what you really want to be looking for. And so just quickly recapping everything that you've learned in this video so far. Number one, you're always going to start off with structure. Now remember, structure is only going to count when you're really looking at them breaks or structures of primary level. So whether it's the primary highs or the primary lows. The next thing, supply and demand zones. That's where really you're going to be refining your entry points. So you know that yes, we are looking for buys, but where exactly are we going to be looking for them? The next thing is going to be making that a high priority zone with these imbalances. So whenever you've got a massive imbalance next to a consolidation period just below or above it, that's where you know these are going to be high quality zones. And the final thing is looking for your reactions. This is particularly going to be very useful on the lower time frames, and that is pretty much everything you need for a high quality trading plan. And so just to recap, profitability isn't all about the indicators, trying to predict the news, or just trying to master any sort of entry model. Really and truly, it always comes down to these three main things: structure, supply and demand, and imbalances. Once you start to really put them together, that's where everything in trading really starts to make sense. And it's quite simple, to be honest. However, if you do want to go more in depth, I've left my A+ setup guide down below. It's a completely free course. You can watch it literally within an hour, 2 hours, something like that. So get access to that down below. And as per usual, click one of the links over here to see another video on my channel. And until then, guys, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.